May, will you come out to play? Your smile takes the edge off of the day, and you're a light that brightens.
This is Molly May, a Bod Pause Pod and other nice stuff with me, Molly May. Hi. Hello. Nice time. You're listening to me, Molly May. I'm flying solo today, per usual, and I'm really excited to be in front of this microphone right meow as I have been preparing for Fashion Week. Today, I want to break down what I'm most excited about for Minnesota Fashion Week, what my plans are, and what I'm wearing. But first, what I can't take off this week. I have been really cruising around this week in a pair of transitional lenses, transitional epaulets. The way I would describe epaulets are like an extra shoulder pad you wear on the outside of your clothes. Remember Prince Charming and Cinderella, like the Disney version, right? And he was wearing like what looked like a militarized window treatment off his shoulders. Epaulets. Those are epaulets. My epaulets are removable, not transitional. They're removable. And my epaulets, 50 cents for every time I say epaulets, please. They're removable, so I can really make any outfit extra. And I got them on Etsy almost like a year ago to the date. It was my friend Vanessa's birthday, and the theme for her birthday party was New Orleans bounce. And so I was like, yeah, this is where I can show up and like be really extra. And so this week I put them on an old man style trench that I thrifted last spring. And they're a black feather. So it's really like a really strong Cruella de Vil vibe. And they have silver chains that hang over the arm, like a nice little swoop. The chains are actually kind of a drag to deal with, and I wish they weren't there. But anyway, so I put these suckers on my oversized khaki trench just Tuesday this week. And I looked in the hall mirror before going to work, and I had that moment myself of, yes, I would want to know you if I didn't know you, if I weren't you. You know, like that vibe that you get when you're wearing like a really great outfit and you're just like, yes, this is 100% how I want to represent myself today. That was me Tuesday morning. So I took the dog out for a poop, and I put in my mobile order for my coffee, you know, like regular Tuesday morning things. So I get in my car, which is a 2006 silver Ford Focus, an automobile that goes really great with epaulets. And I'm just like, oh, I can't buckle up for fear of smushing these epaulets. So I put my car in reverse and backing up like I'm not going to buckle up in the name of fashion. I like realize how silly I am. Like, it's a Tuesday morning. And then I realize, oh my God, Molly, how silly I am. It's a Tuesday morning. Can I really wear, essentially, feathered shoulder pads on a Tuesday morning? So I buckled up. I'm like, duh, I was always going to buckle up. Avoiding the epaulets. And I opted for, you know, like a high neck choke situation with my seatbelt instead. It was really all fine. So I get to the coffee shop to pick up my order, and as I'm heading out, I'm still like riddled with that self-doubt of like, hey, Birdman, it's Tuesday. And then like going back and forth with that in my head, and I was like, no, I want to wear this. And that's something that I've kind of been reflecting on all week. And I gained clarity around this issue that I've always had. And I think that, you know, historically women in society have also battled, is that there is a time and a place to wear what you want. And I think that's a societal training. And I realized how I had been holding myself accountable to that training. Like now this week, right, that I'm aware of it, like I'm actively trying to chuck it. And like, so I walked into work like wearing this trench with epaulets, and I felt cool. And it worked for my look, and it worked all week long. And these epaulets are going to work on boring sleeveless tops and my new go-to to like really power up a power pantsuit, because I want to. And doing what I want feels really good this week. And the song of the week actually goes lovely with the epaulets. So to paint the scene, I got drunk Friday night. So my car was parked at the bar overnight. 7:30 a.m. Saturday. Johnny takes me to go and get it, Johnny, my husband, before he goes into work to split wood for a kiln firing. He's a potter, and a kiln's, you know, essentially like a big oven where you cook the pots. That's very, very layman's terms for you. He's going to not be pleased. Yeah, he's very hot. So I'm in my car channel surfing because, again, I drive a 2006 Ford Focus with no audio input, and I'm pretty sure that the CD player was manufactured broken. The song Best Friend by Sophie Tucker came on, and I was in a full hangover 7:30 a.m. dance party. I had never heard the song, so I Shazammed it immediately. Hey Siri, Shazam this. And I pull up next to Johnny at a stoplight, and, you know, because that's what you do when you're in separate cars riding along with your buddy. And I rolled down my window, and he was just looking at me. So he rolls down his window too, right? And I'm jamming this song so loud, and I'm just like screaming to him. I'm like, 93.3, 93.3. And he puts it on, and then he's just like, Jibbish. And we had like a perfect little synchronistic driving dance party. So thank you, random radio station, for this week's little bit of party. It might be my song of the summer. My person to follow this week is one of my new favorites. Her name is Katie Esvaseth. She is a local vlogger and a whole bag of hilarious and equally as adorable. She looks like Adele, to really give you a full picture. I saw her somewhere in some post. I can't remember, but it was effective. And I slid into her DMs right away. And I was just like, hi, this is so random. Swear to God, I'm not a creep. I need a model for Fashion Week. You in? And so now we're working together for Fashion Week, and I'm super excited. We still haven't met in person, but this is just another example of how lovely Instagram is in creating a community of like-minded humans. So I want to talk about what I'm doing for Minnesota Fashion Week, why I'm excited, why it matters, and then later, you know, I'll check in and see if my hype was accurate and, you know, give a full readout. So Minnesota Fashion Week is relatively new, and I have been a part of it for 2 seasons now. I'm very fortunate to be actually sitting in front of this microphone right now because of a panel that I was on last fall. I was on a plus size fashion panel where we like really broke down barriers. And Minnesota Fashion Week is focused on local talent and local fashion. And really, they've been doing an amazing job of breaking down the borders of inclusivity of all sizes. So this is my 2nd season being a part of it. And I'm super, super jazzed. This year, I am a stylist in an innovations show, which is focused on ethical fashion, fair trade brands, sustainable fashion, and featuring what the industry calls like slow fashion designers. Slow fashion, not slow fashion designers. We're not like turtles. So fashion for the big brands that, you know, you're mostly used to seeing shopping in the US is fast, is what they call fast fashion, and globalized and cheap. And often you will see this equated to poor working conditions, poor quality garments, and a whole lot of just not nice. Slow fashion is, I like to think of it as like the art equivalent to that, right? Like when you buy a garment that you're going to have for life, kind of like the intention that you're going to have it for life. Think of it as like a higher quality and less trend driven. So like less trend, more fashion, more style. And generally that equates to a more ethical purchase. And this is where you'll see local fashion, kind of fashion for a cause, and all the nice. So like when you like really want to save up for a piece. So accompanying this runway show will be a pop-up market featuring all of the above. So as I said before, I'm super grateful to be asked to be invited to participate as a runway stylist. And I was paired with a plus size resale store called Cake. Like ding, ding, ding. Duh. Sign me up. Kat Polivoda is amazing. She owns Cake in Minneapolis, and they have been open for like 6 months, and she's killing it. She has personally had a huge part in making waves locally for the inclusivity of fat girls in fashion. And I say fat girls in fashion because in every conversation that I have with Kat, like she owns this language. So I walked into the store last night because I get to dress 2 models, 2 complete looks. And I was starting to put my looks together, and you know, she's doing her own stuff, helping me out here and there, and she's getting ready to head to an event, and she's talking, and she's like, oh yeah, me and my team of fatties, like we're going down to Iowa City. And I'm just like, yes, like she is owning this in such an interesting way and in such a positive light. And she and I had dissected language a little bit in the past, kind of when I was trying to take a positive ownership in the word fat, but it's just not there for me yet. And she's just this bubbly firecracker who makes me want to be fat. Like I want to be Kat Polivoda's kind of fat. So I have plans to bring her on as a guest because I think there's a whole lot that we could talk about fat language and how we as big girls, or even as allies of big girls, how we choose to identify. And so she's taking the word fat to a whole new wave that makes you feel good. So I have my work cut out for me, right? Like A, thrifting is hard. B, shopping is hard as a big girl. Hello, that's why I'm here right now. And C, thrifting for a big girl is even harder, right? It's like punctuation on punctuation. And because of this is why I'm so excited to be paired with Cake, because it's truly the boutique experience of thrifting, of plus sizes. And those are two things that are both lacking in brick and mortar stores. And like, trust, if there was a plus size boutique, I'd know about it. It'd be lovely. I'd be broke as a joke. And we would all just enjoy slow fashion and have art hanging in our closets. So Cake is really bringing us that in the form of plus size resale. Plus, I took a whole bunch of bags and, it was like one of those good deals of, well, you can get X amount in cash, or you can get double that in store credit. And it's like, dang, girl, so lovely. It's so easy. And so she's giving us that place to thrift and a place to shop ethically. And it just feels good. And she's made this amazing space that's also, it's a place to celebrate our bodies, right? It's like a physical community space for big girls. And she caters to such an amazing energy. Like, she's truly infectious, and that's carried through. Like, even when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, Kat, it smells really good in here. And not like a typical, thrift joint. She's like, I worked really hard at that. It was really lovely. And I'm also really excited. I have two amazing models. Katie, who was the follow of the week, Espaseth, and I'm going to say her name 10 more times because she sent me a very specific Instagram DM video of her going, Espaseth, Espaseth, Espaseth. And I was like, oh my God, girl, I don't even know you, but I love you so hard. So Katie Espaseth is one of my models. And then Emily Eaton, who we all know and love, both of whom have bangin' bods, and I'm super excited to get their hair in a slicked back Blake Lively pony. My inspiration for the show is their hair and how I'm gonna DIY fashion the hell out of this fashion week. DIY fashion, thrifting, swapping, recycling old clothes, and honestly, going in and making art of it. I will randomly do this to things in my closet that don't really excite me anymore, but that I don't really have the heart to part with. And it helps to really kind of make one-of-a-kind pieces that are, unique to you and unique to your wardrobe. So I picked out two basic looks for the models, and my plans are just to DIY the hell out of them. DIYing clothes is something that I've been playing around with for a while. And it's totally an experimental moment. I think that the easiest one to start with in dressing up your wardrobe, or I guess it'd be dressing down, grunging it up, down, up, down. Interesting the way we talk about clothes. Whatever, is distressing, cutting, fraying. I'll typically reserve distressing for a t-shirt moment. It kind of helps to create a cool look under a boring blazer or a leather moto. I'll also often do it to old pairs of denim that are on their way out. DIY fashion is not for the faint of heart. You have to go in with integrity and intention, and you're cutting up your clothes. I mean, when you're distressing, you're literally stabbing holes. And when you're distressing a tee for the first time, you can get, I don't know, breathy. So don't start with a t-shirt that you love, because it can be panicky. So pick out an old grossy until you get your feet under you. So first, I like to rough up the fabric. And I was doing this the other day, and it reminded me of when I played softball in high school for a very brief amount of time. I was always afraid that the ball would knock my teeth out. We would take our visors and we would rough up the bill on the bleachers so that they would have this distressed Holy effect, but it was just on the bill. Very Iowa. And it was a trick that, really pissed all our moms off. But I think that if it pisses your mom off, it's probably working. fashion wise. So you want to take the tip of your scissors, or I found that a serrated steak knife works the best. Excuse me, I had Taco Bell every time before we record. I have a little bit of a beef quesarito moment that I hoovered down in my car. And about halfway through recording, I get incredibly burpy. It's really lovely. So take the serrated part of a steak knife, run it over a part of the fabric that you want to make a hole in. Like, it's important that you like wear the fabric down so it just doesn't look like, you cut a hole in it. And you'll see like little nubbins of fabric spilling off. Like, this is a really important step. And then you can start making holes. And it's important to like, there's no way to do this without sounding murdery, but to like randomize your stabs. And I mean, like, be careful. Randomize your stabs, guys. Give a good one, like right in the neck seam. This sounds awful. Randomize your stabs right in the neck seam. But I think the neck seam is often overlooked, and it's often the one that packs the biggest punch. But don't overdo it there. And to look legit, you have to do some on the back too. I like to keep it focused on the back shoulder, so you're not getting we don't want like a full open back sitchy. And another hot tip is that the sheerer the fabric, the more authentic this will look. So like I have an old muscle tee that took this effect lovingly. And the example of it going the other way is I bought a new Purple Rain t-shirt and I tried to distress it. I know it sounds like, how dare I be so sacrilegious against Prince? And it doesn't, I wear it to bed now because the fabric was too thick and it looks silly. Yeah, use an old shirt is my biggest takeaway here. But lastly, for like the bigger holes, you just get in there and rip them. Like DIY therapy. And if you go bigger than 3 inches, I think that you've made a huge fashion mistake. And if you have a steamer available to you, and you can also like do this on your iron, you can go over the holes and it will make them look, not like fresh stab wounds that like they've been there forever. Steam your holes. If I remember, steam your holes, guys. If I'm remembered for anything in this world, like what will my legacy be? Oh, Molly May, the steam your holes girl. Enjoy your distressed t-shirts and steam your holes. Tagline. The second DIY that I'm so psyched about is painting. And if you're a real whiz, you can give a highbrow situation with embroidery. And I love this personalization. So hard. So incredibly hard. I tried once, the painting bit. I'm not good with embroidery. And I vowed that I would leave it to the ones most apt with a brush. I'm going to try it again, though, because I think it works better with a plan. It works best, in my experience, with like a thick fabric. So denim jackets you see a lot of. But I think my favesy custom painted piece is one that I bought from Charles O. Anderson. He is an artist in New Orleans. Oh my God, his stuff is so gorgeous. Vag Wolf each got one, and it's another one of our fondest memories. We love to have matching things. So it's really just like an oversized, what I imagine to be thrifted blazer. Like mine is undoubtedly a man's suit coat. It's a light lemon base, and he used house paint and like looks like a big house paintbrush, and just like threw color on there and big, bold brush strokes. And he went in with like a second accent moment of like a gold gilded that like formalizes it somehow. And I mean, this sucker is like plastered with paint. And it's so stiff. And so it's one of my like really special fashion pieces, and I'll wear it when I'm like, oh, Is there a gallery opening? Whose show is it? I'll have a Merlot. Oh, this is my Charles O. Anderson. So I tried a similar effect once, and I used it was like a Hobby Lobby Martha Stewart faux gold leaf paint situation. And I just went in there and haphazardly threw paint on there, and it looked like an accidental Heinz mustard squirt. It was not cute. So I'm not going to ever do it again without a plan. So my plan for my models for Fashion Week is to go in with a perfectly executed femme one-line drawing that I'm going to practice 900 times, or a Saved by the Bell pattern. And we'll see how they fit. But something to give them a second life. I recently had a gorgeous art trade with the artist Liz Apple, and I really won on that one. We traded headshots for this thrifted denim jacket that I gave her, and she, oh my God, it's so good. She returned it to me with the most perfectly rendered series of illustrated bratwursts on the back. And I pooped. It was so good. And I wore it around my family, and they pooped. So my hometown, Stacyville, Iowa, hosts Bratwurst Days every year. And it's notoriously the entire world's favorite holiday. Should be. It is the best. Stacyville, love you. And I'll really dig into the glory of Brat Days on another episode, because who doesn't love brats? Yeah, Liz really hit it out of the park on that one. And she also did one for Emily, who really has an affinity for beauty regimens, and washing her face. And Emily's denim jacket perfectly says, "I'd rather be washing my face," which is perfectly apropos for Emily. And I think it's perfectly goddamn hilarious. You should follow Liz. She's the real deal. She is an illustrator for Target and does her own side hustle stuff all the time. She also knits really cool shit. And she's a perfect example of how to DIY your wardrobe and make it authentically yours. I think it's such a lovely trend, and I will cherish my hand-painted pieces forever. Because they're not fast fashion, they're mine. They're art. They're me. They're lovely. The third DIY fashion that I found true Michael Scott half success at was bedazzling. I feel so silly just saying the word bedazzling. And I did it, I did some bedazzling for a Fashion Week event last year. So I feel like it's legit enough to talk about and not something that's just for nieces and grandmas. Right? There's a right way to bedazzle and a wrong way. And there are the right bedazzle, and I don't want to call them gems, but I think they're studs. They're called studs. So there are studs, and then there are gems. I favor the studs. And if you prefer gems, I'm not here for you. I don't know. We have nothing in common. So I got a cheapy bedazzler online, one that is legitimately made for children. So there's no need to go insane for the first time that you're studding something. I'm going to call it studding instead of bedazzling. Bedazzle, vajazzle. It's just too silly for me. Studding. So I got the equipment of a child's toy to do serious work. And then I got gold, a mixture of gold and silver studs that were compatible with the machine. And you would be surprised on how many options of studs there are. So really make sure that you get them that are compatible. I just got it on Amazon. So it was $15 total. easy. I'd say that the patterns that come with it are obsolete. Make your own. Especially since mine came with butterflies and kitty faces. But for this particular half-assed studding that I'm going to describe, I just did what felt right. It's kind of another one of those random stabby moments, I guess. Oh, well, that and Johnny was home, and I was like, "Hi, can you fill in the gaps for me of the vajazzles that you see?" He's very handy. He can do all sorts of things. So I had a pair of black denim that were on their way out. You know, like when black denim gets overwashed and worn and the crotch starts going out. So I threw some distressed holes in the knees, and I did a mixed metal studding on the thighs. And I paired this look with it was a micro suede camel tank and a shit ton of gold necklaces and a full wide brim formation inspired hat and leather loafers. So like with all of this texture happening, they worked harmoniously. And it wasn't just like, ooh, bedazzled pants. It was a look. I once did really big studs, like big studs on the top of a shoulder seam of a friend's denim jacket. And that was like, I had to like hammer that stuff in. That was like real deal manual labor. And it would not be my choice to do that again. You cannot do that with a nice manicure. So since I'm so obsessed with epaulets, I'm also going to try to make my own for Fashion Week. And I hope that it's just as easy as I think it is in going to a fabric store and like getting some big ass shoulder pads and hot gluing some bright feathers on them and just saying like, oh, yay, epaulets. It worked. You can do anything with hot glue. But I want to say I'm too smart to know that that's not how it works, but I'm too smart to know that that's not how it works. That it might be a disaster, and I probably shouldn't bank on making my own epaulets. But yeah, so if you have any hot tips out there on epaulets, please let me know, and I'll keep you posted, and you keep me posted. I think my all-time favorite DIY fashion moment is, and honestly, we've been doing it our entire lives, since 7th grade on our own, really, is iron-on letters. And God, there's nothing better. One of my models is going to be wearing a white, it's like a tux blazer. So it has like black trim. And on the back with big like flocked, like an old 70s retro typeface, I just want to put "Go suck an egg" and like nothing else. So I'll keep you posted. Maybe I can put together an entire DIY. Like the reason why I like iron-on letters so much is because it's so easy to do. And in the past, I've tried painting with stencils. My friend got really into making her own stencils. This was in like 2007 before eggplants were associated with dicks. And she just really loved eggplants and made an eggplant stencil and spray painted it all over her room. And then, it was sparrows were on trend at the time. And then next to eggplants, I made some sparrows. It's so interesting the way that trends work. But you can easily also make stencils out of like, the best is like the plastic dividers in like 3 binder folders, and then you just like X-Acto knife that shit out, and then you can spray paint all over and reuse it, and they look perfect. I once made one of Frida Kahlo, which was really lovely. I wonder where that is now. That'd be really great on the back of a jacket. I should probably remake that. I should remake that for Fashion Week. Look what just happened here. Oh, goody. Which leads me to my next thing. What am I wearing to Fashion Week? Honestly, probably a swimsuit. Because probably a swimsuit with a duster. Probably a swimsuit with a duster with epaulets. And that's because that's what I want to wear. And if I've learned anything this week, it's that I'm happiest when I wear what I want. And I challenge you to do the same. Smoochy smooch. Love you. And if you got this far in the pod, I'm impressed as fuck and really grateful to have you listening. If you want to know more information about me or the show, check out the show page on matriarchdm.com, where we host all of the What I Can't Take Off, our progressive Spotify playlist from the songs of the week, and obviously the reminder of who to follow for the week, all in a nice little fucking Matriarch Digital Media bow. Theme song is Molly May by Ben Karen. Like, I'll never get over saying that. It's so good, right? Thanks for listening. You're so cute.